For my presentation, I have chosen Philip Anderson Lord for my designer and his work on Across the Spider-Verse, which was released June of this year. This is an animated feature film filled with energy and excitement, which inspires me greatly. The format of what I present is provided within this slide. I just want to highlight that I wanted to give a brief overview on Philip Anderson Lord, the history of animation, and specifically 3 key scenes which are important within Spider-Verse. I will also follow this up with questions at the end of this presentation. So I'd like to introduce the animated film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is a sequel in the animated Spider-Man film series. I suppose the question is, why Spider-Man? Well, it's because I absolutely love the way they approach the style and the visuals for Spider-Man in a more unique way. This relates to my childhood, where I grew up watching crazy animated children's programs and films that still inspire me to this day. For example, The Amazing World of Gumball is hugely influential because the characters are drawn in a vibrant way. This relates to Spider-Man because of the characters being appealing and also the world of superheroes. Philip Anderson Lord is an amazing and modern-day filmmaker and animator who has had a relatively short but inspiring career. During his early 2000s, Lord and his friend Christopher Miller pitched several ideas to film studios, which eventually led to their first feature film. As you can see from this PowerPoint, Lord is attached to animated productions Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs and his probably more well-known, which is the Lego Movie. This eventually led to Spider-Man Into and Across the Spider-Verse. You need pencil miles to be a great artist, animator, or filmmaker, and the sooner you start making mistakes, the quicker you learn. I feel that Philip Anderson Lord really wanted to lure his audience into the comic world, which has modern-day animation techniques, which have been recognized by audience and film critics alike. Animation is a brilliant form of communication, which the technique of photographing successive drawings and positions to create an illusion of movement when the film is shown as a successive sequence. Animation has been around for a long time, and this really came into the world with Disney's first production, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which was created in a traditional hand-drawn style. Animation has moved on a lot since that day through using stop-motion animation, which can be created using collages or models such as Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. The Spider-Verse, on the other hand, takes animation to a very different level and is hugely appealing, which I'll explain next. It is common these days for animators to use computers to help with animations. Computer animations make life easier as they no longer have to rely on flipping through all those drawings every single time, which is a real time saver. Animation, like most films, use 24 frames per second. The Spider-Verse movie also uses this, but they can use various frames per second, such as 2s and 3s, which means that it's only 2 frames per second and 3 frames per second. The backgrounds can also do this as well. Characters' frames per second can vary, and this is used in the Spider-Verse to show movement and differences to the rest of the characters who are still on 24 frames per second. Both Spider-Verse movies were made with computer animation, and now on to the exciting part where I get to talk about Spider-Verse. Spider-Man was created originally by Stan Lee, a comic book, and has since been seen in various forms of media, TVs, movies, books, computer games, etc. Lord decided to use Miles Morales as Spider-Man as he created his own version of Spider-Verse. Miles reunites with Gwen Stacy, a Spider-Person from an alternative universe. His journey then sees him traversing the multiverse where he meets a team of Spider-People, protecting its very existence. Miles finds himself pitted against other spiders and must redefine what it means to be a hero and save the ones he loves. With its beautiful artwork displaying the character's emotion clearly, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite animated films of all time. Multiple Spider-People characters even have their own style. Some characters took 3 years to develop. Each universe looks like it's been created by a different designer, with every world connecting to their Spider-Person. Gwen's world is personally my favorite, with its use of colors to enhance emotion, bringing it to another level compared to the rest of the worlds. Each world was designed to amaze the audience whenever the character crossed into a new environment. Gwen's world was designed to look like impressionistic watercolor paintings. The visual palette used to reflect Gwen's emotions, which Lord stated as being like a 3-dimensional mood ring. Gwen's world was inspired by a scene in the 1950s Cinderella. Scene 1. Gwen's colours are used to reflect her mood. She is seen in different colours to her environment to emphasise how detached and alone she feels. These colours also show the divide between Gwen and her father and their contrasting ideals. Gwen's father wanted to catch Spider-Woman, which, unbeknownst to him, is actually his daughter. During this scene, the world is dark, but warmer colours start to appear when they hug to highlight their love. But, despite the hug, their colours are still different because they're different opinions and secrets from each other. Scene 2. Gwen's father finally finds out the truth. Turns out his daughter was Spider-Woman all along, which, that's a pretty big secret. We can see him start to go into more purple colour, which shows he is contemplating whether he should be a policeman or be a father. In my opinion, it should be obvious on what one he should choose, but unfortunately he could not hear me through the screen. So Gwen's father remains undecided for a while, which is he's in one side with blues and the other side in red. And without words, we can see he makes his decision as he moves back to blue in contrast to Gwen's reds. He chose to be a policeman. Father of the year, everyone. So, scene 3. Some time has passed since Gwen and her father last saw each other. Gwen and her father are both in different colours again, but as Gwen talks, he starts to move into more purples, which show he's starting to think about what he should do. As Gwen Fathers makes his choice to quit his job and be a father, the entire scene changes to bright pastel colours, both of them in purple, showing that they finally understand one another as they now realise they were on the same side all along. Spider-Verse is a very creative and breathtaking piece of animation, taking inspiration from the past to make art of the present. The use of colours and movement to convey emotion makes scenes stand out compared to the animated films. The viewer can watch and can feel like they're a part of the Spider-Verse world. They can feel connected with the characters on screen. Spider-Verse has made a legacy for itself. It's changed animation as we know it. More films are now being made using the Spider-Verse style. Great ideas start flowing when you stop thinking about the obvious way to do it. Philip Aniston Lord, any questions?